Hi, and welcome to Psychic Today. I'm your host, Jill Roberts, and I have an exciting prospect for everybody. If you use the Anchor app, which you can find in the iOS and Google app stores, you can actually leave me a voice message with any questions you may have or any ideas for further episodes. So please definitely download Anchor. That's ANCHOR or you can do it online. If you have a question, you can always just leave it in the voicemails, and I will get them as soon as they come through. And that way, we can make this a community, we can go on this journey together, and we can awaken to the divine inside of all of us. Hi, and welcome to Psychic Today. I'm your host, Jill Roberts, and today we're going to continue our crystalline exploration journey and segments. And what I really like to do is talk about certain crystals that vibrate to the frequencies of other dimensions. And one of those is a stone called Staurolite. Staurolite is also known as Fairy Crosses because a lot of times they are reddish brown, dark brown, or brownish black, and there's twin crystals, and they usually come in the shape of a cross. They'll either look like an X. Sometimes you'll just have those brown crystals themselves that are crossed, or you can get ones that have an actual base around it, kind of like a matrix, and it's very it's almost like a granite color, but very shimmery. So it's made up of a complex material like of iron, magnesium, zinc, aluminum, and silicon, but it's monoclinic, the crystal system. So it has these beautiful prismatic crystals. And of course, like I said, they're in cruciform. So, but the Greek word stauros means cross. And the twin crystals have been thus given the nickname of fairy crosses because a lot of times they can act as a key to the astral plane, the Devic realm, and the domain of the fairies. So, this is a stone that vibrates the frequency of dimensions closest to our own here on Earth. So, it is a sort of interdimensional travel within. However, it's more connected to the physical realm of the earth plane with nature spirits and those kinds of things. These are sacred realms, and their sacredness resonates to the physical world. One can see them aligned in connection with one another. In such seeing, one realizes the destruction of this plane reverberates through the others, all the way from here to divine source. Without the direct ability to know this, it's easy for one to view the physical world as quote-unquote dead and meaningless. If this is all one sees, then, why not plunder it and lay it to waste? But keeping the vibration of starlight in one's energy fields helps you to open your eyes to the closely connected worlds that exist in symbiosis with the physical earth. And that's what's so special about this stone. It inspires you to treat the beings and the environment of this plane with the same reverence one would have of the higher worlds. So, all the love and sweetness that permeates the fairy realm resonates deeply in the humanness of us and the forgotten parts of our soul. For making this reconnection, Staurolite is an amazing stone or crystal, whatever you want to call it, to use. It can teach you to treat oneself and one's body with similar appreciation and reverence. It's helpful to, for those who seek to give up self-destructive habits and addictions. It can help you go through cleansing regimens and, help you stay centered and grounded while the inner battle between one's immune system and the tiny invaders is going on. So it's good for the physical body, it's good for the emotional body, it's good for the light and the crystalline body. Um, those who want to learn the practice of animal communication, in which one can psychically converse with pets or other animals, you'll find that Staurolite is a great tool for that too. It can help you achieve the inner attunement that opens the door for this work. As a crystal, which often manifests as a symbol of the four directions because it's in the shape of a cross, it could contain an invisible link to the fifth direction, which is the vertical inner direction by which one experiences and navigates the other worlds. Staurolite's energy increases one's ability to tune one's own vibrational field to the frequencies of whatever domain, you wish to explore. For instance, if you sleep with Staurolite and you can put it in your pillowcase, it can help initiate astral travel and lucid dreaming and help you to remember your dreams, which a lot of us have a problem with. If you sleep for an 8-hour period, you go through 5 dream cycles. So you just don't have one dream. But if you sleep straight through, you will have 5 dream cycles. And the first one starts within the first 90 minutes of falling asleep, actually during your REM sleep. Oddly enough, I took a dream mediumship certification, and it's amazing how there are ways that you can train your body to, remember certain things in these dream cycles, or there are certain exercises where your body will go to sleep, but you will be conscious, and it's almost like a locked-in feeling. However, it's great for, you know, astral travel and being conscious for it. Um, it's a great stone to meditate with, and this is why I'm talking about it. If you want to raise your consciousness and you want to work with, the higher realms and the multiple dimensions and, the other timelines, then you need to use stones that their energy and frequencies are attuned to those dimensions. And you also want it to fuse with your own energy and your own frequency. So by using these stones, you're raising your vibration and from your light body, and it enables you to go within and really see what's there. I mean, there is this optical illusion with our brain. If there's something in our field of vision, we don't know what it is. We have no reference to it. A lot of times we will not see it. So you can work with certain stones to help pull the veil back so you can see what's really there. Um, it's an amazing stone. It has fine vibrational discrimination, so which allow you to choose the inner doorway that you wish to open. It can increase in power by pairing it with ruby, oddly enough. Blue kyanite is a close cousin of Staurolite. It can help with the enhancement of psychic senses. Green kyanite and green apophyllite will assist in attuning to the planes of the fairies and the divas. And red garnet will help one stay grounded and centered while linking one's awareness to multiple worlds. It's a wonderful balance grounding stone as well. So it keeps you here in the physical while you go within and exploring, which is why I love to call this the Crystalline Exploration series of Psychic Today, because this is an inner journey that you're going on. And it's my job to give you all the information if you want to remember to awaken or awaken to remember, awakening the species. There's so much that we don't know. There's so much in quantum physics and quantum mechanics that correlates directly back to our consciousness and our being and who we are and why we're here and what's our soul's purpose. And that's why I want to talk about the stones that I've personally used that help with this inner journey. Because it's a journey we all take eventually. Whether you started at 20 or you started at, 50 or 70, it really doesn't make a difference. Because we all take it at some point. And a lot of times we take it when we're older, maybe because we've gone through all of the heavy physical stuff and junk here within the ego. And we really need to open our eyes and go within and find the silence and find who we are at the core level. And this is what this series is going to help you with. So I'll be right back with another stone that I think you'll find interesting. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had so many questions, like how do I record an episode? Where do I find background music? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? Where do I find advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. Literally, it's a push of the button. I can't express how easy it is to get your content out there because as podcasters, we have a tough enough time dealing with our content, let alone dealing with technology and the confusion of paying to have it done. With Anchor, it's free and it's easy. And that's the most important thing because I care about content. I want my content out to you. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast, go to anchor.fm/start. That's ANCHOR.FM/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Hi, and we're back. So the next stone that I want to talk about are actually called Z stones. These are mineral consecrations found in the Sahara Desert in northern Africa. They're usually dark brown in color, and they come in a wild array of fantastic shapes. Actually, I'm looking at mine now, and it reminds me of a Tibetan Tekite, sort of, and like an Apache tear, the one I have, and yet it's heavy. It's not light like a Tekite is. It is definitely, and Apache tears are a bit heavy for the Tekite family, because you have, living glass, you have moldavite, they're usually very light stones, but this stone is pretty heavy. And they're pretty expensive. So, I have one that's about an inch and a half long and about a half an inch, not even, maybe quarter of an inch wide at the top, and it's longer at the base. But again, they come in many, many different shapes and sizes. And what they really are is they're a small fossil at the core. And they kind of resemble prophecy stones, but they're not as dense as prophecy stones. And they're from a different area in the African desert. So just be aware of that when you're shopping for them if you decide to get one. I must tell you, they are amazing. A lot of times I take different combinations of stones, and I do go by, the certain um, crystal people out there who are extremely knowledgeable, like Judy Hall and Robert Simmons, um, whom I totally respect, and they have a great, they give great guidance into which stones mix well with others. So, but I just want to give you my what I've found works for me, and again, it's going to be different for everyone. So you have to remember that everything you learn from anybody is going to be different for you. And that's not a bad thing. It really isn't. It's something that takes us usually a while to learn. And I want to prevent that from happening to you. So I want to just forewarn you that there's nothing wrong if you pair a stone with another stone that has been told to you by a book or by someone like me on the podcast who is a crystal healer and works with crystals in, everyday life. You're not going to, it's almost like taking medication. Medication works differently in everybody's system. Everybody has a different chemical makeup. So, the old saying, one man's medicine is another man's poison, as far as medication goes, it's the same thing. One thing may work for one person, but not for the other. So, what I do is, I'm sure if you follow me on Instagram or on my Facebook professional page or any of my groups, you've seen that recently Giardina Blue made me a beautiful Numite necklace. And what I did was I paired the Z stone with triangulation of Numite. So I was in, a meditative position where I had the Numite on my neck at my throat chakra. And I had two huge palm stones of Numite. And I had the Z stone on my crown. And I did this meditation where the stone really activated not only itself but the Numite, and it made it an even more incredible experience. So you can pick and choose what works for you. If you want to pair it with Moldavite, if Moldavite enhances your awareness. Another great stone is Glendonite, which I just absolutely love. They come in like kind of little, like, they look kind of like the Aragonite sunbursts, but they're actually a little bit more well formed, and they're from Arizona. So I believe so they're more kind of hard clay kind of feeling shaped, prickly. But if you meditate with those as well, now we'll do an episode on Glendonite on its own. They're an awesome stone to work with Z stones. But let's get back to what Z stones are. These stones are are great if you want to travel interdimensionally and explore the subtle realms of consciousness. They can provide a very interesting ticket. So like I said, with the Numite, it was, and I had it triangulated, it was pretty amazing. They powerfully stimulate your third eye and your crown chakras, although they don't immediately take one like up to the angelic realms. Instead, they kind of widen your awareness, allowing you to see and kind of explore inner or nearer realms that are normally overlooked in our everyday state. So it's kind of like taking the veil off, like I was mentioning before. Other things that we cannot see because we have no reference to it. The astral realm can be accessed by these stones. And another more rarefied realm is that of the living geometries. And when you meditate and you focus on the Merkaba or other sacred forms of geometry, you'll start to see it, and you can see it almost as kind of like a holographic type of thing. And I'm talking about, not with objectively with your eyes open, but subjectively with your eyes closed. And with the mention of the Merkaba, sorry, I am reminded of interdimensional travel that utilizes the Merkaba vehicle of light, which is, visualizes two counter-rotating tetrahedrons extending above and below the body, with one's heart at the center. So if you were to visualize this energetic vehicle while holding a Z-stone as a third eye, I did it at the crown chakra instead, which just was something that was guided to me via intuition. You can experience a much quicker and more, kind of vivid transition to the traveling state, so to speak. I did this with the last 333 Stargate on March 3rd with Meg Benedictine. She does a lot with the Merkaba and kind of does guided interdimensional travel during certain dates or, Stargates openings. So if you're interested in that, let me know. You can leave a voicemail here. You can leave, a message on my website. You can, leave a message on Facebook, anywhere, or even on Anchor. So, don't hesitate if you want more information on stuff like that. But it does make it a more dramatic kind of frequency and energy that are like currents that are just go straight up. It's almost like you can feel it as a vortex, of light that is surrounding you and going counterclockwise very quickly at the core of your body and straight up. So it's all divine, golden light. They're also excellent if you work with, or if you want to work with, elemental energies. They help work with magic, especially in the area of sympathetic magic. When one works with Z-stones, you can focus your awareness and your will. The connection between the subject and the magical talisman is just done. You don't have to go through a bunch of rituals and take as much time doing it when you want to activate a talisman. The Z-stone is amazing for that. It can also, you can use them to work as a focused positive intention, because without an intention, these stones may simply make you just feel kind of lightheaded. They call them mineral marijuana, which is kind of funny. So if, you're holding it and you're not really doing anything, you may kind of feel a little woozy. You have to definitely have a focus. So, have the intention. You definitely use it in meditation, which is how I do it, or if I'm doing a certain guided meditation with somebody, um, it helps. Or if I'm doing shamanic journeying work, it helps. Because again, I'm thus traveling to, um, a Devic or a fairy, or the underworld or the middle world when I'm doing that kind of stuff. Um, it may be easier to focus if you combine it with a stone like danburite, an andalite, Rosa Sophia, or any type of azestulite. Now, if you haven't heard of andalite, Rosa Sophia, or azestulite, look up Robert Simmons on Google. You'll find his Heaven and Earth jewelry store, and he sells crystals there. Um, and that will explain everything about andalite, Rosa Sophia, and azestulite. And I will be doing episodes on them, but they're very complex and very long. So if you want to do a little bit of reading ahead of time, you may want to do that, because each one of those stones would honestly take a whole episode themselves, especially azestulite, because there's so many different azestulites. And some of them are Azeo powered through Robert Simmons's, labyrinths, and that's just a whole other story. But anyway, these stones are exceptionally powerful. And again, they are not going to just like beam you up, Scotty. Again, you have to remember you're also going inside. Everything is within you. It's not out there. So you have to kind of reel yourself in and remember that. You're going within, you're not going out, because we all have divine source within us. So there's no need to try and, go outside of your light body, your crystalline body, to find any of this. There's a great show on Gaia that combines quantum physics and quantum consciousness and interdimensional stuff and string theory, and it's extremely interesting. If you subscribe to Gaia, definitely check it out. I believe it's called Mystery Teachings. But they're powerful. These Z-stones, their energies are rather freewheeling. So again, have a purpose in mind when you start to work with them. Stay centered in your heart as much as you can. You can keep a grounding stone or a protective stone such as black tourmaline with you, black andradite garnet, grounding stone, or merlinite nearby. And for me, there's a difference between merlinite and indigo gabbro, which is also known as mystic merlinite. A lot of people get them confused. Merlinite is more of a black and whitish kind of stone, whereas indigo gabbro has a lot of blues and blacks, and it's both are very powerful. But and I prefer to work with, believe it or not, black merlinite, just plain black merlinite, which you can look for online as well. That's a great stone to use. I keep it in a kind of like spiral locket, a piece of it. And I also have Merkaba calcite on a chain and Herkimer diamonds to keep my energy and my vortex, excuse me, grounded and within my, raising my frequency. So, if you want to use those other stones, you can. If you want to enhance the power of them, you can combine it with a magnifier quartz. And for me, the magnifier quartzes that I like to use are definitely Herkimer diamonds. They're very, very strong. So, any type of white colored quartz you can use as a magnifier, because quartz in itself is a wonderful, wonderful magnifier. These stones activate consciousness in so many different ways for traveling both to the near realms and the high realms. Emotionally, they stimulate feelings of euphoria and the excitement of inner discovery. They're physically neutral, and they help you in expanding your awareness for, exploration, for learning, and for adventure. So if you get one, definitely, pair it. You can pair it with, like the stones I mentioned before, merlinite, pneumite, girthite, if you want, as a grounding stone. Plus, is also a stone that expands, higher your consciousness as well, and expands your frequency. You could do moldavite, phenakite, any of the Synergy 12 stones, a techite of your choice, whatever you have, amethyst. Amethyst is a great go-to for the third eye. Rose quartz is good for the heart. I use Rosa Sophia for the heart chakra. And we're also going to get more in depth on chakras. There is an episode on chakras where I talk about the 7, but there's a lot more. So just know it's gonna get a little complicated, but you're gonna understand it, and I'm gonna do it in a way where you'll understand it. So I hope wherever you are in the world, you're having an amazing day, and I'm really excited to go on this crystalline exploration with you, because these stones are going to change your life, and in the best possible way. So that's me signing off. Have a wonderful day, night, or rest. All my love and light.